Good evening, my friends. Today it's the Easter. Traditionally, that a Christian will go to the church to celebrate the resurrection of Jesus. Of course, this year, that many people won't be able to go to the church because this social distance in the pandemic period. And some of the Jewish also celebrate the Passover. Very interesting that I've learned from also the Facebook. Someone just also posted that today is New Year's for those countries in Southeast Asia, like Sri Lanka, Burma, Thai, Laos. So that is the Happy New Year, the New Year for this country. So today, after the meditation, maybe I will share with you some thought about religion and about their festival, or what should we believe. And also today I make a special that for the meditation practice, we're going to do what we call the abdominal breathing. This is also indicated in the Tian Tai meditation manual. You probably won't see that much in the Agama or the South, like a Theravada tradition. Of course, in Theravada tradition, some people also have some teachers also teach doing the abdominal breathing as well. But in the Tian Tai, the Zhi Master Zhi also, bring lots of information. You can tell it's kind of from the Chinese medicine or the Taoist. When we doing the focus on our, breathing, or where to put our mind, that there are various ways. And what we have been doing is like a focus on the nostril breathing, on the nose. Of course, that it could be also in abdomen, and this is going to become very complicated, also on the top of the head or even the heart, okay? But as I mentioned that try to be kind of simplified, not to make it too complicated, because this is not designed for like advanced meditation class, but this is more like for a general audience. And so I think it's very important, step by step, and teach only very basic skill techniques for meditation. Okay, so and I want to mention that remember when we talk about abdomen, that in Buddhism particularly refer to, this is your navel, and then 3 fingers beneath your navel, and this area indicated in the Tian Tai meditation manual, it refers to 丹田. See, this is a Taoist term. 丹田, literally, I translate as the field of energy. Of course, Dan is kind of alchemy. The Taoist term, but the 丹田, the field of energy, that is almost like besides the heart. This is almost like a motor in a car. You started, all of the energy will circulate your body. And if you are doing the Chinese Qigong or the Shaolin, one of the skill technique is standing, like a pillar. They call 站桩. Very interesting that even though you're standing still and you focus on your dan, and if you really practice, that your body spontaneously, not driven by your mind, but spontaneously, the body will shaking. So that means the energy, the qi, is circulated through your whole body. And this is real, okay, if you practice, I have that experience as well. So that proves that our abdomen is the field of energy. So besides, I keep talking about we have to focus on this anna般那, this nostril, and I say it leading to you samadha, the dhyana. But if someone kind of tend to be more weak, like to be more healthy, for your health, then I would recommend that you doing the abdominal breathing. So that instead of you focus on your nostril, and now today I want to show you, you should put your attention, your minds, like beneath your 3 fingers beneath, under your neck area. Focus on that. And doing the meditation, continue, of course, still breathing in and breathing out. But this time, you just use your mind to direct your air, the breathing air, through your nostril and down all the way to your dantian. Okay? And of course, some people maybe have a different, kind of concentrate, and you don't know what does it mean about, abdominal breathing. So what I will do is, you even can, at the beginning, you use your fingers and touch your feel of the, we call, your belly. And then, when you're breathing in, then your belly pops out, And then, when you exhale, then you contract, your belly in, bring it in. So, when you inhale, pop out, and exhale, contract. Breathing in, inhale, come out, exhale, breathing, breathing in. And of course, this is just like you are counting your breathing, but once when you become very natural, you don't have to, particularly kind of put your fingers here, but just observe and then bring the air into the dantian. See, I'm already sweat. Okay, so would you like to try? Okay. And of course, also the thing I need to tell you is some people when they start to do meditation, some people will kind of shaking the body or rocking their body, either forward, backward, or left or right. Don't be afraid, okay? It's very normal too. It's just your energy need to be circulated smoothly. But if you find very annoying about this shaking of the body, just from the breathing on your nostril, then move to the okay, deep breathe here. Okay, let's start today's the abdominal patient. Okay, so here, sit. You again with your legs, crossed, and back upright. So circulate it. Make sure you sit stable, clockwise, and relax your body too. Hands slightly touched, thumb, shoulder open up, put it down, chin pull in, tongue, the tip of tongue slightly touched behind the teeth, and eye closed. Okay, this is a 7-step vibration. Feet closed, don't hanging on the floor. Always closed. Back upright, do not lean forward, not backward, nothing. Don't lean on the wall or fence or a sofa. Okay, hands, thumbs, like shoulder open up, put it down. Chin, not up, not down, but horizontal, pull in. Tongue behind the teeth, upper teeth. Eye closed. Okay, now you have a perfect body. Now we call body, breath, mind. Now breath, breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Once when you are breathing very smoothly, no noise, not the coarse breathing, but fine, nature. Now breathing in through your nostril and visualize that the from your nose down all the way to Dantian. That means 3 fingers beneath your navel. Your belly could be popped out. And when you exhale, contract your belly. The air from your navel, Dantian, the field of energy, come out from your nostril. Remember, your mind should be on the Dantian, the field of energy beneath your navel. Okay, also, this one is not on your skin or your belly, but more inside. So that means your mind should focus on beneath your navel, 3 fingers wide, that inside the body, almost the center of your body. If your mind goes away back, again, inhale exhale, visualize or be aware of the air from your nostrils all the way down to your navel beneath the field of energy. Each one's experience will be different, depend on your practice and your experience. Some people may have a difficult to train, to tame their mind. As long as you put your effort, then it will getting better. If mind goes away, bring it back. Let's do our metta meditation. Metta means loving kindness. We would like to send in our loving kindness of thought and prayer to ourselves and to people we know or even we do not know around the world. And you can send the loving kindness prayer to particular individual that you would like to bless them. May I be free from the infection of coronavirus and other diseases, free from suffering, and be well and healthy. May my spouse and my children be free from the infection of coronavirus and other disease, free from suffering, and be well and healthy. May my parents and my brothers and sisters be free from the infection of coronavirus, disease, free from suffering, be well and healthy. May my teachers and my students be free from the infection of coronavirus and other disease, free from suffering, and be well and healthy. May all my friends and neighbors free from the infection of coronavirus and other disease, free from suffering, and be well and healthy. All the people in this country be free from the infection of coronavirus and other disease, free from suffering, and be well and healthy. May all the people in this world be free from the infection of coronavirus and other disease, free from suffering, and be well and healthy. May all the doctors and nurses and the medical personnel be free from the infection of coronavirus and other disease, free from suffering, and be well and healthy. Would like to thank you. Thanks these nurses and caretakers. They are the ones who risk their life in the front lines to save other people's life. They are the warriors in this pandemic battle. May all leaders be free from the infection of coronavirus and other disease, free from greed, hatred, and ignorance, free from suffering, and be well and healthy. We pray for their wisdom to take proper measure to save life and create harmonious society and world. Also pray that they have the power and the wisdom to do so. May the people who die of coronavirus disease will be raised in peace and be reborn in a realm and healthy realm. May all the people who contact with coronavirus or other disease will receive full recovery and free from suffering and be well and healthy. Especially in this Easter holiday, we hope that the world will see the light of the world and our society will come to and the world will getting better and better. Of course, this is my third day. I like to send my special prayer to our little friend, Hunter, who suffered from leukemia. And I bet that he's strong and will recover. In Buddhism, when we say Amitofo, means unlimited life and unlimited light. Amitofo. Now, rubbing our hands and massage our ear, back, shoulder, the neck and shoulder, arms, back, and your thigh, knees, leg, and feet. Well, today it's very auspicious day. Happy Easter and happy Passover and also Happy New Year to the Theravada traditions country. If you ask me that do we Buddhists celebrate the Christians holiday, I want to share with you that my opinion that when Buddhism came to China like 2,000 years ago, and Buddhism is a religion or the faith so inclusive and also with that kind of a flexibility. So when it came to China, size with at that time already have Taoism and Confucianism. So now if you look so-called Chinese Buddhism, all the way I want to call it Han Buddhism. We have a Theravada Buddhism and we have a Tibetan Buddhism, and mostly in area or Mongolia or the big part of Sichuan as well in nowadays China. And we have this called Han Buddhism, H-A-N, because this Han Buddhism is considered also Mahayana Buddhism. And when it came to China, it also spread out to Korea and also Japan, and some part of Vietnam, today's Vietnam. And you probably want to ask, why don't you just call Mahayana Buddhism? Because this Mahayana Buddhism also include, we call Tibetan Buddhism. So usually I would say it will call Theravada Buddhism and Han Buddhism. That means East Asia country practice. Then Tibetan Buddhism, or the best way we should call it Vajrayana. But anyway, so if you look at the so-called Han tradition in China or in Japan, Korea, now they always, the temple, the Buddhist temple in this area always the locals festival as well. For example, that Chinese celebrate Chinese New Year or festival or a Mid-Autumn festival. So now Buddhism came to Christians. So mostly the Western country mostly, have the Christian's background. And when we mention about, kind of a religious, but indeed it's not just religion content. A lot of them maybe nothing to do with the religion. If we look at the Christmas Day, or even when we talk about, Easter Day, later I will explain that. And I feel I myself, because I tend to kind of categorize someone as one religion. Okay, you are Buddhist, you are Christian, or you are Catholic. But I feel I myself is kind of have a multi-faith, because the first one, I was raised in Confucianism. I have to study a lot of Confucius philosophy and also Taoist philosophy as well. 道德经 and then 庄子 as well. So I think that this philosophy and value is kind of become for my life. So I would refer myself as all this value, Confucianism, Taoist, and then also Buddhism, Taoism and Buddhism. And I was born in the town, small town, and basically the people in this town, Beigang, we were surrounded by the worship of a goddess called Maju. She's the one who have to go out to protect the mostly fishermen, out of the ocean. But this Maju also later is kind of too close. The character kind of mingle with the Avalokita, the Buddhist, or in Japanese, Kannon, Guan Yin, Chinese. Okay, so I think that it's not something about black and white. I think there was a lot of thin size. I want to emphasize is we should not cut by the name, by the form, because very important, it's about the practice. I always, if someone, even they will not claim that, they have any religion, but during the time when people asked the Buddha, so what is the Buddhism? And he said, okay, 众善奉行, that means you do all the good things, all the good deeds. 诸恶莫作，众善奉行. You should not do any of or all of the evil, do all of the good, and purify your mind, and that is the religion. So the Buddha at that time did not say, hey, you have to take a refuge in me and come to my, the rituals and go to the temple, worship, then you... No, he said that, do no evil, do all good, purify your mind, and that is Buddhism. Yeah. So it's more about what you do, not what you name. And, there are good people and bad people in all kinds of religion as well. Maybe in Christianity, in Buddhism as well. This is what I believe, that when we come to religion, come to the faith, we should look at it, the action, not just the name, or not just the ritual, or not just the form. Secondly, as I just mentioned about Easter, I just read an article by a lecturer in Texas University called Brent Lando, and he mentioned about why the day for the of Jesus called Easter is he believed the name is after a pre-Christian. There was the goddess in England. The goddess in England called Eostre. Pronounced maybe more like Eostre. So Easter. And what does mean? Means the birth of the light of the world, especially during the springtime. You mentioned that the most of the religious festival also to do with the season, just like a Christmas as well. It's more to do with the winter solstice. Yeah. So also about why we have in Easter the egg and the rabbits, bunny. We call bunny. You mentioned that the egg also refer to the birth of life, and started from the 18th century, according to what he said, started in the 17th century, 18th century, that the attention of children is become a trend, that the people pay more attention about the children. So that's why, this is what I add, that in Christmas we have a Santa Claus, and then now we have the egg. And this is what I find this article very interesting, and tell us about, and from a scholar, so tell us about why it's called Easter, and so why also Easter associated with egg, with bunny, rabbit. It has it might be the egg and the bunny maybe have nothing to do with a religion at all. Okay. If you ask me that what do you believe, or what is the God, or what is the Buddha? The first one, concept of God in the Christianity. I will not spend too much time. I think that in general, people believe that there was an almighty, being, omniscient or omnipotent, everywhere, And if you like to know about the concept of God, Sharon Armstrong, the book of the history of God, and very clear. Of course, people think that it's very personalized God with the capital, and maybe later, kind of develop into a so-called atheism. Do not believe that there was a creator. I just want to show you, what do you think, who's the Buddha? That in Buddhism, the Buddha, let's say the Buddha equal to God, is special with the capital G. The Buddha is enlightened being. Even if you are a human being, attain the enlightenment. So the Buddha more referred to the mental state that someone enlightened, or awakened. So what about enlightened and awakened means? That means that they discerned, they see the reality, they see things as they really are. We ordinary people, we have a bias over, we do not see things, or because our, physical disposition and also intellectual or even spiritual kind of a bias. So we all want to see the things as they really are, see the reality. So the Buddha, in Buddhism, not just have one, we have a historical Buddha, Sakyamuni Buddha, about 500 years ago, before the what we call the first century. But if you look at the Buddhist texts, there are many Buddhas. Numerous Buddha, because in Buddhism, the concept of a universe is not just the earth, and not just the human being, not just the animal, they call sentient being. And this sentient being also beyond our human sight. That means they exist, even though we cannot see or we cannot feel. Because in Buddhism, always reminds us that as a human being, we have the limitation about knowing the universe, because it depends on our eyes, our ears, our nose, our tongue, our body, or even our brain. But we all know that, we cannot smell better than a dog. And our ear, we cannot hear better than dog either. And our sight even see better than, owl, or even, some animals. So that means that our has the limitation. Unless you can break through or count on the sense organ, then your perspective will be much. So what does it mean here? That means that being a human being, we have to be humble. So Buddhism is not only talking about human rights or animal rights. He even talk about, hey, be aware of all the sentient beings exist. And of course, like in Taoism, he referred to Tao, DAO, Dao. It's kind of a universal law is there. Or in the ancient time, stuff that in Chinese we use heaven. So the emperor is the son of the heaven. If you're the son of the heaven, what you are doing is you have to follow the heaven or the Tao to perform your duty, or carry out your deed, your action. So what does it mean about Tao or about the heaven that will come to Buddhism? It even more clear. You will find that in Buddhism about good and bad. Okay, good cause and condition and leading to a good result. So 善有善报，恶有恶报。So you have an evil, unwholesome or unwholesome condition, then you will lead into the bad result. Of course, we have to be very aware of when we talk about good and bad and the cause and result. Don't think it's just like, okay, you only have one cause, one condition, and then you will lead into the one result. No. The cause and condition indeed is very dynamic. Not just one cause or one condition leading definitely to that, the evil, the result. And during this process, there's all kinds of good and bad into it too. So if you ask me, what do you believe? I believe, they are the mighty. It's bigger than what we human can think, ordinary can think, is the law, the universal law and function on our earth and also our universal as well. Okay, the universal have to function according to the certain universal law, and we have to follow. So this is what I believe. It's more like Buddhism talk about Fa. And the Buddha is only someone who discards this Dharma, this universal law. So we become a Buddhist monks or nuns because we learn from the teacher, the Buddha, and follow this path, follow Dharma, this law, and then go to attempt to see the things as they really are. That is the enlightenment. So for me, there was no conflict at all, like in my belief or in my to be a kind of intellectual, or even a scholar. How can you have a kind of a belief in something? I think it's very important that being a human being, we need to be humble. This is what I believe. The humility, because there's so much we don't know, and we need to know about it. I always say, respect the heaven, respect the Tao, or respect the universal, and then follow it. You do something, you carry out your action, good cause, good condition, and leading the good result, and bad cause, bad condition, and leading to the bad result. So I always say respect the nature and follow the Tao. Respect the nature. Respect it was kind of the almighty. Okay, and then follow the universal law. That's what I believe. Well, it's time. So happy Easter Day and happy Passover and happy New Year to the friends in Theravada tradition. And what I want to say is, now spring is coming. We see the eternal in this the pandemic, disaster. But I know that after for a while, when we think about back, you will think that's also kind of a period of time in our life. We will be really proud, that overcome it, and you through it, and you overcome it, and definitely, this is the day we all need to have a good thought, more loving kindness, thought and prayer for our family and our country, and even for this world, all the world, and of course, all the sentient beings in this universe. Omitofor, unlimited light and unlimited life. Thank you. Good night. And see you tomorrow.